Hi, and welcome to Self-Advocacy and Advocacy. I'm your host, Essence Jackson, and today I have from the Alberti Center, Amanda Nickerson. Welcome, Amanda. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're very welcome. Please tell us about yourself.
Sure. I'm a professor at the University at Buffalo in the Graduate School of Education. So I work with the Counseling School and Educational Psychology Department, and specifically with graduate students that are learning to be school psychologists and counseling psychologists. My other role at the university is to direct the Alberti Center for Bullying Abuse Prevention, which is an endowed center, and we have the mission of generating knowledge, conducting research to better understand bullying and other forms of violence, why they happen, how they affect people, and importantly, how we can try to prevent and intervene. So we not only do research, but we also try to do a lot of education and outreach in the community to get the information from our research and from others people research to try to better understand the issue and work to prevent it and hopefully eventually stop it from happening.
Now you said no. About how long had it been around?
Well, I took the job as director in July of 2011. They had done a little bit of activity the year before. They had a symposium that was open to the community about the topic of bullying, but then they spent the next year searching for someone to direct the center, and I was lucky enough to take that job in 2011, so 5 years now.
I kind of wish it was around when I went to school because I've been bullied in my life, and it would have been nice to have that resource open to my parents and helping me deal with bullying.
Mm-hmm.
What are the main contributors? What are the main contributors to bullying?
So I guess the main contributors, there's things about the individuals involved in bullying that contribute to it. There's things about school environments and larger peer groups that contribute, and of course our larger community and culture. So it's not, I think sometimes people want an easy answer to why bullying happens and what we can do to stop it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not an easy thing. So, but some of the contributors are an abuse of power. So many of the people who do the bullying are behaving in intentionally aggressive ways towards someone or several people that have less power than them. They usually do it again and again, and sometimes it's to make themselves feel better or more powerful. Sometimes it's simply to be mean and cause somebody else pain.
Yeah.
So those are some of the contributing factors to the person who's doing the bullying. The person who's being bullied usually has trouble defending themselves because they may have less power, they usually tend to be less assertive, less able to kind of stand up for themselves. And certainly if it happens in an environment that encourages it, where people see it and they don't say anything about it, or they say this is okay and they join in, then that can certainly make it worse. I think in our larger society, we do have norms of power and control and competition and superiority and things like that. And all of those things kind of contribute to the problem of bullying.
Do you think that people should get to know the person that's doing the bullying and see why they are doing it? Do you think they can help the situation out?
I think so. It's very important to find out, to intervene when bullying's happening, and there have to be consequences. But sometimes people think, oh, we just need to punish. We just need to expel these kids from school or bring charges against their family and things like that. But I think it's a good point that we do need to get to know, why is this happening? I mean, this is not a good thing for the person who's bullying either. And so finding out, what is it? I mean, do they have this need for power and control? Have they learned it from someplace and they need to learn better ways to have power or show their social status? Is it that they need to, do they not have the skills to interact with someone in a more positive way? So maybe they need to be taught some skills. Maybe they need to be given opportunities to have power in ways that are more positive. So I do think it's very important for us to get to know the people involved in this so that we can best try to make a difference and change the behavior.
I ask people with disabilities, why do you think we are calculated?
Well, we did some research that was funded by the New York State Developmental Disabilities Planning Council. And in that research, they really wanted us to look at what are the needs and challenges and where we need to go in terms of bullying and individuals with disabilities. So we had a chance to survey a lot of people with disabilities, family members, people that work with individuals with disabilities, and we also did focus groups around the state to better understand this issue. And something that came out was that, I mean, everybody has an individual story, but it really seemed to be a lot about differences. That people felt like they had been bullied, or people that they knew and loved with disabilities had been bullied because of their differences, that those had been called out, whether it was the way they talked or the way they looked or the way that they moved or something like that. And I think we find that with bullying a lot, is that there's this fear of difference, or this need to sort of have power or control over that. So that seemed to be the thing that came out the most. Just kind of a lack of understanding and real empathy about getting to know a person with a disability for who they are and everything about them, not just what someone may see or hear or a prejudice they may have.
It's 2016. I would think that people are more understanding and compassionate. It makes me feel real sad to know that we're not there yet.
Right. I do think we've come a long way, though.
Yeah.
So I talk to parents a lot, and we just kind of observe about when we were growing up and now what we see our kids, and our kids in schools have much more interaction with other kids with disabilities, and many of them are friends with people with disabilities. They're horrified to think that anyone would mistreat them or bully them.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say there's no hope, people aren't compassionate, because I don't think that's true. It is still happening, and it's still a problem, but in many ways I think we have come a long way. And the self-advocacy movement has come a long way in making change and empowering people to share their voice and have others know people with disabilities for the whole person and what they bring.
Not to my own horn, but we are awesome people. All you have to do is spend a little time with us and get to know us, and you will realize we like to have fun. We have the same emotions that you do. We just express it a little differently.
You toot your own horn. That's what you need to. That's wonderful. And I completely agree with you. And the more that you spread that message, the more we're seeing the change.
Yeah. When do you think bullying started?
At what age, or kind of when in history?
In history and what age?
Okay. In history, I think it's been around forever. I mean, you can point to stories in the Bible, you can look at survival of the fittest, sort of whatever orientation you look at. I mean, I think that using power and abuse to gain some sort of status has always been there. So I think we haven't really studied it more systematically until about the 1980s. And that was happening in Europe. So there were some very highly publicized suicides of some boys in Norway that it came out that they had been bullied. And so that is when the field really started looking at it as something that we needed to study and understand. And that interest has really just grown a lot since then. Yeah. But in terms of when it starts developmentally, a colleague of mine at the University at Buffalo, his name is Jamie Ostroff, he studies preschoolers, so 3- and 4-year-olds, and finds that it's happening even then.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, with you're not invited to my birthday party, you can't play with us. I get a little concerned that we're calling everything bullying.
Yeah.
And I don't think we should. I mean, I think we should, because it also now has such meaning for people that to be called a bully can also be very damaging to someone.
Yeah.
And if we do it too much, then people might just say, well, you think everything's bullying. So I think we have to be careful about that. But we can see even in preschoolers the kind of behavior, excluding behavior, ganging up on someone else,
Yeah.
Using mean comments repeatedly, those kinds of things.
I mean, you'll notice how I tease my friends. And a lot of people would say that I'm a bully, that I'm being mean, I'm not killing, and that's not the case.
Yes.
I have been called a bully because of my strong personality, and I don't want to get out there that that's not true. Just because someone has like a strong personality, they can mean that they're the most loving, honest people. So I have to deal with that label as well.
Yeah.
And you're right, it is damaging because people start to shy away from you and not want to be around you because they think that you're just mean, heartless person all the time. How do you think we can break that stereotype?
Well, I think what you first said was that you tease your friends. And I think that just before the show started, I saw you teasing your friend, and your friend had teased you, and I think the word bully had even been used at some point in a joking way.
Yeah.
And I think I said to you, well, I know that's not bullying now because he
Yeah.
said something to you that wasn't very nice, but you laughed and he laughed. You said something later to him that didn't seem very nice, but he laughed and you laughed.
Yeah.
That's your way of joking with each other, about showing your affection. The line can be crossed, though. If you say something, maybe you said the exact same thing to someone that you didn't know as well, or to someone who wasn't as confident in themselves, or who took it the wrong way. That still may not be bullying, but if you knew that person said, I don't like that you talk to me that way, that makes me sad, that makes me upset, and you still did it, then I think that's kind of crossing a line. So I think we just need to have these conversations with people, let them know what our intention is. Sometimes when we approach kids that are accused of being bullies, and they truly don't, they deny it. They say, he just can't take a joke. So some of it's very difficult because we have different ways of what's comfortable for us. Do you know what I mean? Some things, some words that people use towards me, I might get more offended about than the person next to me. And so just sort of, I think, erring on the side of always being kind. Knowing that I don't know what battles you're fighting. You don't know what battles I'm fighting. So isn't it best for us to try to be as kind as possible?
I like that. I think if everybody remember that we will have a nice, peaceful world. I think that a lot.
Me too.
So, I know before the show you had mentioned about your conference. Can you tell us a little bit more about where it's gonna be?
Sure, I'd love to. So we have an annual conference, and this year we're really excited that the conference is on the topic of bullying in individuals with disabilities.
Whoa!
Yeah, both the challenges and the opportunities. So it's going to be held on Thursday, September 29th from 8 to 3. It's going to be at Classics 5 Banquet Hall, which is on Niagara Falls Boulevard in Amherst, New York. And so it's going to be an all-day event. In the morning, we're going to have Dr. Chad Rose. He is a professor at the University of Missouri, and he has been looking at the issue of bullying and individuals with disabilities, particularly school-age children. He's a professor of special education. So he's been looking at that for a long time, both how often do they experience it, why does it happen, what are the effects, and very importantly, what can we be doing to prevent and intervene. We're also going to have breakout sessions. So our hope is that the topics that we have will be of interest to professionals, to individuals with disabilities, to parents and community members. So we will have Bruce Goldstein is a local attorney who will be talking about issues related to disability and the law. We will have 2 school counselors from the Kenton School District talking about educational issues. That's Michelle Washington and Kathy Miller. We'll also be having a session on embracing disabilities, embracing diversity, both in terms of LGBTQ, disability issues and social support. So that will be Rick Banner and Amy Levesque.
I love them.
Yeah.
I love them.
Well, good. You come and go to that session. Yeah. Then in the afternoon, we're going to have a panel of self-advocates that will be talking. Oh. So we're excited about that. We'll have Christy Moscato from Parent Network of Western New York talking about a parent perspective. And we'll also be having a panel of youth with Mary Skarupa from Erie County Mental Health talking about mental health issues. Then the conference will end with Julie Herzog, who is the director of PACER's National Bullying Prevention Center. So I don't know if you've heard that October is Bullying Prevention Month, or people sometimes wear orange for Unity Day and things like that. Those are all initiatives from PACER's National Bullying Prevention Center. So we're really excited about having her. Julie has a child, well, he's probably older now, so a grown child with disabilities, and she's been an advocate for disability prevention for many years, and is going to talk about advocacy efforts and community outreach and things like that.
Sounds like an eventful day.
We think so.
Is it free?
Yes. So it's not free, although we do have limited scholarship opportunities. Mm-hmm. People just have to indicate that they're interested in it.
I am.
Okay, good. Well, you call us up and let us know. But for professionals, it's $75, and for students, community members, others that are not working in a profession that will help fund it, it's $35, and it includes breakfast and lunch. But as I said, we have some supports and sponsors this year, including the New York State Developmental Disabilities Planning Council, Embrace Western New York, People Inc., Parent Network of Western New York. So we are going to be able to have a limited number of scholarships available for people to attend for free.
Well, people find this information?
Sure. Probably the easiest way is to go to our website, which I believe is going to be shown on the screen too, but that is GSE for Graduate School of Education buffalo.edu/Alberti Center. And right on our homepage, it has a link for the conference. Or people can call 716-645-1532. And Bree Kishel, who you know, who has done a lot to organize the conference, will be able to help people with that.
Good. Well, thank you. It sounds like you're doing wonderful work. As I said, words that earlier so that I could have benefited when I was younger, but I would love to help in any way I can.
That's wonderful. Thank you. I think what you're doing is helping because I think our missions are very similar. The more that we get the word out and help people with self-advocacy, that's a big part of working towards trying to stop bullying.
Yes. Well, we have 2 minutes left. Is there any other thing you would like to say?
Well, just that I'm pleased to be here sharing the information, and I think that in doing the project that I talked about, really one of the things that came out of that loud and clear from individuals with disabilities was how important it was to learn to advocate for themselves and also to get support from people in their lives. And so I guess I just want to again affirm that what the Self-Advocacy Network of New York is doing, what you're doing, and just getting the word out is a really important piece of us working together.
You do real stuff. I'm just another little person behind the scenes. You're doing very awesome work. And I thank you for coming and sharing your story, your mission, and all that you want to accomplish. Thank you for watching Self-Advocacy and Action. I'm Essence, get to your house and have a nice Self-Advocacy day. Bye-bye. Fuck.